One of the other really significant influence in my spiritual growth what happened to me in San Diego, and I mentioned already that I studied therapeutic massage down there, and that's where I first got into opera singing. I got a job singing opera at an Italian restaurant, and once I found out that people would pay me to sing opera, it opened up a whole new career. For 15 years, I made my living doing that. Anyway, one of the things I did was I looked up a Jungian analyst in San Diego, and I went to him every week during the year that I was there.
Cecil Burney?
I can't remember what his name was. But anyway, the first time I went to see him, he told me that basically what he would be doing would be analyzing, looking at my dreams, and so he wanted me to make sure that I made an effort to remember them and write them down, So, and the next week I went, and until the day before, I hadn't remembered a dream, and I was worried, that I was going to waste my money and time. But anyway, that night I had the most incredible dream. I dreamed that I was in the old tabernacle that had been built late in the 19th century in Cardston, where I went to church for the first few years of my life. And there was a room in the basement where we prepared the sacrament, the Eucharist, and there was a place under the counter where you could take the board off the wall and climb it through into a tunnel that brought the heat from the powerhouse to the tabernacle, and that from thence to there. And in my dream, I was with a lot of young people. It was like I was a child, and we were kind of playing. We were having a good time. And all of a sudden, somebody said, "The crypt is opening." And then I could smell something rotten, like I was smelling a dead body. And we stopped, and there was a lot of fear. And we exchanged looks and didn't know what to do next. And suddenly, out of a dark corner, this figure emerged, a half-finished statue. It's like it had been carved, say, from just below the waist up, and then the rest of it was a kind of like an unfinished block of stone. And this thing came roaring out of the corner, and all the children that were in the room took off. I mean, they scattered in every direction. Some went down into the tunnel, some went out the door, and the dream ended with me alone in this room and this figure towering over me. Well, when I told this dream to the Jungian analyst, he just about, he was amazed, and I could tell that he just loved the dream, and his interpretation of it, of course, made it like the preface to a work of literature. He said the unfinished figure, of course, was me, a part of me, a representation of me, and that the fact that it was only partially carved was a symbol of the fact that I was still in the process of defining myself, of creating myself. The fear that was part of the scene had to do with the risk that we have to take. We have to go down into the crypt, in a sense, and face these fearful things, because that's what we're hiding from. That's what makes it hard for us to be who we really are, to know who we are. because there are things in there that we don't know about, or we don't know what they are, and there's the possibility that they will come tearing out and destroy us. And the fact that I was able to stay there and face this creature, face it down, he saw as a very optimistic indication that I was in fact ready to open up, and which I did. Over the following year, I had dream after dream that was so vivid and powerful and so highly symbolic. Dreams that, like I would be floating down the river in a house with my kids in the house, and there would be the terror of dealing with this, being caught in this flood. Or I would be in an automobile floating down the river. How you float in an automobile, I'm not sure. But anyway, in the dream, my family was in there. I had a lot of my earlier dreams were very frightening ones, and a lot of stress in the dreams. As the year went on, the dreams began to change in character. I started having a lot of dreams where I was climbing up hills and making discoveries when I got to the top of these hills. And the very last session that I had with him was a very complicated dream of that sort. I climbed this long hill, and when I got to the top, here was this beautiful blonde woman in a flowing white gown, and she came to meet me with her arms outstretched and enfolded me in her arms and hugged me. And the face of this woman was the face of a young woman that I had a crush on all the years I was in school, and never acted on it. I was so lacking in confidence that I avoided having a relationship with her.
It's like the Aphrodite archetype, or great mother goddess.
Mother goddess, the anima figure. It's a symbol that appears in an awful lot of cultures and in an awful lot of dreams.
This is a wonderful perinatal statue. That's quite amazing.
Yeah, I think that's what appealed when I saw that statue, which was made by a friend of mine. I bought it because it's such a wonderful reminder of that powerful dream.
Do you remember his name? He's here in Lac Saint Anne, eh?
Yes, here in Lac Saint Anne.